The views expressed here belong solely to the presenters. They do not reflect opinions of FCCI, FIDE, or their affiliates.
Hello everyone, I'm Veda, and together with my colleague Ameya, we are thrilled to introduce to you this YouTube initiative tailored specially for the global Indian diaspora audience. This video is part of the series of upcoming interactive videos that we, from the Foundation of Critical Choices of India, or in short, FCCI, working jointly with Foundation for Indian Diaspora and Europe, in short, FIDE, will be coming up with. Foundation for Critical Choices for India, FCCI, is a think tank organization in the Netherlands and is a focal point for initiating and implementing studies and programs on issues of strategic importance to India in social, political, economic fields by mobilizing the resources of non-resident Indians or persons of Indian origin. FIDE also aims to strengthen the relationship between India and the Indian community in Europe through various meetings, events, etc. I per se work in the Netherlands as a lecturer at the Erasmus University, but I'm also associated as a trustee at the FCCI because of my love for India. I believe that no matter where we travel, where we live, our Indian identity will always remain close to our hearts. Therefore, FCCI provides me with an opportunity to actively participate in India's journey of growth and development. So today is the very first video of the series of upcoming videos. Since Ameya and I live in the Netherlands, we wanted to discuss the upcoming national elections that are scheduled to be held on the 22nd of November. We really hope that this video will help the Indian diaspora in the Netherlands to cast their votes. The primary objective behind producing this video is to raise awareness about the significance of voting. Regardless of where we live, if we are eligible to vote, then we must exercise this democratic right. Additionally, we aim to gain insights into logistical aspects of the general elections conducted in the Netherlands. But first, I request Ameya to introduce himself. Ameya?
Hi, everyone. Like Veda said, my name is Ameya. I live in Enschede in the Netherlands, and I'm a researcher. I work at the University of Twente, and we are here to discuss general elections that will be held this month on the 22nd. So, Veda, when did you hear about the elections?
Very recently, Ameya, when I received the Stempas from the Gemeente, I mean, of course, I heard that the Mark Rutte's government fell because of immigration policies, etc. But I was not very sure when the elections are going to be held. But then when I received the Stempas, I realized that it's on the 22nd of November. And since I hold a Dutch passport now, I'm very much eligible to vote for the national elections, unlike those who hold only a residence permit in the Netherlands. So just for clarity's sake, to be clear, Indians who hold a residence permit can vote for the municipality elections, but not for the national elections. So, Ameya, I am not very well read about the political system in the Netherlands. I've just started to read a little now because I have to exercise my democratic right. I'm trying to explore it. Also, I'm still trying to figure out how significant it is for me to vote in these elections.
Right. Well, don't you think voting is essential for individuals to have a voice in shaping the future policies of the nation that they're living in? So,
Well, I think you're right. You're absolutely right. It's in general, voting is a way for us to have a say in how the country we live in works. Also, right? It's a chance for us to choose who the leader should be to make decisions to that will affect our lives. However, I was not born here, not brought up here. I just came a couple of years ago. So, how can my vote really have an impact here in the Netherlands? You know?
that's a very common misconception. So, especially in our Indian diaspora, we don't really understand how equally important it is to vote here as much as no, we would vote in India or something. When we all come together to vote, it can have a very big impact. It's like this one big puzzle, and each vote is like a piece, and no, it's needed to complete the picture. It's very important.
That's so true. Yeah, but I'm very curious. Do you think it can have an impact on policies that the Netherlands government will formulate in context to India?
Oh, definitely, because there are more than 250,000 individuals living in the Netherlands
Hmm.
of Indian origin. That's a significant number considering the population of the Netherlands, and no, many of these people possess the right to vote. So, uh, by exercising our privileges, such privileges, we can undoubtedly exert an impact on the outcomes of the elections. So I think we can start by making well-informed choices about candidates, who's standing, and who we can support. So we can also use our votes to support a specific party that aligns with the best interests of the Netherlands, of course, but then also approaches Indian foreign policy. Well, it should be considering the interests of our diaspora living here or like in Europe. So do you also know that there are some people of Indian origin actually contesting for the general elections in the Netherlands? No, this can make a very big difference if diasporic members are MPs here. Then it could be a liaison between their government and the government of India. So it can have can improve relationships as well. So
That's really good to know, especially for the Indian diaspora, right? It's really interesting. And if we have people of Indian origin contesting now, it's very significant also. So we should really look into this and try to understand what we can do, or how we can exploit it, maybe to an extent, if I can say, use those words. But I don't know much about the candidates in general. It's also important to know what these candidates stand for, and also other Dutch candidates, right? Dutch origin candidates. So, what all the candidates and all the parties stand for, I don't know. And how can we make an informed decision here?
that's a very good question. I think something also that crossed my mind some time ago. But I think for a start, we can do some research, like reading about candidates. They're probably, if they have a manifesto, some policies, and what specifically they stand for, what would they push if they come to power. Another option is to watch debates and then things that are happening close to the election dates and learn about the issues that specifically matter to us as a community or individuals. It's, in a sense, our responsibility to stay informed, at least to an extent, so we can make the best choice, at least with what information we can get.
I agree, but then, I'm so busy and my Dutch language skills are not so great. So when I want to look, if I look at debates, etc., it becomes so overwhelming because I'm focusing too much. There's more energy, right? And also reading everything, changing, translating, and then reading. So it's a lot of time. Then it's very demotivating to really read and understand. So is there some shortcut like?
I think you're right. So, definitely, if we have to watch things every day on no in Dutch, and then actually try to understand debates as well as think of the words that they're using or something like that. So, I think the first step would be probably to use something called a Stemwijzer. It's a really cool website. Stem is voting, and Wiser is something that gives you information. So basically, this website uh, aims to inform you more about things that you might have it. So it's the same similar problems with for the Dutch people as well. So each party would have some priorities. So they would think of what they would want to do, basically what they would push if they come to power. So this website collects these points, and it's not like they just put something randomly or with some kind of bias, but they actually consult each party, and they do it in coordination with each party, so they have legit things on the website. So all you have to do is go on this website, fill a questionnaire, and then based on how you answer these questions, the names of these parties which have the closest, I think, uh, ideas that match with what you filled in, these names will appear, and then it'll really narrow down your search, and then it's a very good starting point, at least. So we'll put up the you know the link to the website in the description, so our readers can have a look at it. But
Yeah.
Veda, do you have an idea about the Stempas itself, the voting card itself?
Yes, that's one thing I understood very well. Maybe I can explain to the viewers what it signifies. So the STEM pass is, in the context of the Dutch elections, is a voting pass or polling card that is issued to eligible voters in the Netherlands. So let me show how it looks. I can share the screen of the STEM pass. this is the front page of the Stempas. You will receive this by post. And here you will have your name, the date of birth, your address, everything. So it's kind of an identity or an eligibility card that you can go and vote in your nearest booth in the Gemeente, or maybe anywhere, actually, any place, not necessarily near the Gemeente of your region. You can go to any Gemeente. And here you have the date and time, and then you also have the address of your nearest Gemeente. And this is the backside of the Stempas. This is very interesting because it's very different from how the Indian election system works. This is in case, for example, I am ill or I'm traveling, but I still want to cast my vote. I can ask Ameya, for example, to cast an vote for me. So I give my democratic voting rights to him. So I have to sign here, then I write down who is going to vote on my behalf, address, name, handtaking, signature, everything. And I can give this card to Ameya, and Ameya can then exercise my voting rights. So this is, I stop sharing. This is quite interesting and very different. So no vote is wasted. So every vote can be counted this way. I think that's it from what I remember. Anything that I missed, Ameya?
Wow, Veda, I think you know a lot about this thing. I don't think I need to explain anything more. This one interesting point, which is quite distinct from how I know the Indian electoral system works. So in India, what we do is, in every constituency or every region, there are a set of candidates who basically fight elections with each other, and then those names are there only in the list of that specific constituency. So we can choose between them, and if a person wins, they represent that region or that constituency. But here it's very different. So all the people contesting in the Dutch elections are open for everybody in the country. So I can go up and vote for anybody who's standing in the election. So I'm from Enschede, which is in the east of the Netherlands, and I can vote for someone in Amsterdam, somebody who stood from there or from the south, or so the top number of people who get the most votes, they're kind of chosen for the cabinet. They're into the
Veda Kamar.
yeah, they make it to the as an MP.
The
So
second, so the Veda Kamar.
yeah. So that's really different. So anybody can vote for anyone. So that's I think very interesting and different from how we
Yeah,
know the system
yeah,
today.
very interesting. I also heard from one of my colleagues that if you do not color the circle well, then the computer does not pick it up, and then your vote will be invalid. So it's really important to remember that you do it rightly. Maybe discuss with others who have already done it and find out how to do it in the right way, and then go and cast your vote. That is important. But coming back to the various parties, where my knowledge really lacks is about what these parties are, what are the different kind of parties, what they stand for. And I have tried to read, and this is one core area that most Indian origins really struggle with, right? So they really
Yeah.
don't know what's happening at the political level. So then I've read a little, and I also read a little about it in the businessinsider.nl link. That's quite an interesting link and gives a lot of updated information also. Have you seen that link? Do you know anything about that link? Do you
I
like
think
it?
it's a good website to start up, especially about the major parties and candidates and all of that. I can summarize a bit of this for you. So there are many parties, but then there are six parties which with double digit number of members of parliament in the thing itself. So these are VVD, D66, GroenLinks, PVDA, PVV, and CDA. So these are in the order of reducing order of the number of seats they have. And the first one, VVD, is it's a People's Party for Freedom and Democracy. So basically, the main thing is it stands for more liberal economic policies. So it promotes enterprises, it promotes privatization, private enterprises, and actually liberalizing policies for them so the country progresses economically. The next one, second in the list, is D66 or Democrats 66. This is a social justice party. This wants to expand civil rights, expand political rights. That they think this is how justice in society can be upheld and then taken forward. The third one is GroenLinks. It simply the main thing, the main agenda is green politics in the sense sustainability and ecology. Earth first, basically that kind of approach. So whatever is good for the planet, that should be the primary criteria according to them. So the next one is PVDA. It's basically a labor party. It promotes social justice, but then it thinks policies, politics, and economic policies can intervene. So through these things, social justice can be pushed. So that's what it thinks. So the fifth largest party is PVV. It's a party, Partei für Freiheit. It's a party for freedom. It's an extreme right-wing party. It's like a Robin Hood thing. It speaks for the common man, and then it's anti-elitist. So this is the idea of the PVV. The sixth largest one is CDA. It's a Christian Democratic Alliance. So their idea is to use the social teachings of Christianity. It's inspired by these things, and as a conservative party, it tries to uphold justice and uphold civil rights by using the teachings of Christianity. So this was just the largest ones, but then it's a good diversity of parties here already. But then this is not all. There are many more parties, and no, in a sense,
Right.
it's endless.
Yeah, I also, that's a lot of information to begin with, but I also came across a new party called the New Social Contract, NSC, if I'm right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it is relatively new and it's one of the favorites actually. And they are saying it can win, it's probably pitted to win or at least be part of the government. But this party intends to focus on its on good governance, of course, and sufficient housing, social security, which is quite good because housing is a big crisis in the Netherlands, and maybe that's why
Needed.
they're also their favorites that they're focusing on that. Uh,
Hmm.
but the downside is they're also asking for stricter immigration rules that not just includes refugees but students, expats, migrant workers. So that's something also to look out for. So we have to critically really analyze and understand what is good for everybody, and also of course keep not just keeping diaspora in mind but also the Netherlands, right?
Absolutely,
Thank
absolutely.
you, Ameya, for all this information. And I will also try to read about it in the news and other channels. And I also request the voters to do that. And one thing I will surely do is go and vote. It's one of the most important ways we can participate in the countries, in any country's democracy, and have a say in the direction of
Good.
how the country takes. And uh, it's also I think we as an Indian diaspora, we are not living in India, but we're living in another country, but still this is where we perform our actions. So it's like our karma bhumi, right? So we have
So
to take
that's
part here in every action that's needed for good governance. And it's not just affects locally, but also global politics. So let's make an effort to be informed and make our voices heard in the upcoming elections, I would say. You have
yeah.
something to say? Yeah.
Mm, uh, Definitely agree with you. We shouldn't take this lightly at all. So the Indian diaspora should vote in the country that we reside in currently, because it's a civic duty. First of all, it's a duty as a citizen of the country, but it also influences the home policies of our country, the relationship between these two countries. That's one aspect of it. Another important thing is we don't just represent India or an Indian diaspora here, we're also a part of the expats. So there's a lot of common issues, common challenges, or common ideas between expats from different countries. And all of us try to maintain this connection with our heritage while also contributing to, for example, this country with our karma, and also with for global issues. So it's a nice way to stay engaged and make a positive impact, both within this country and also internationally. So I think it's very, very important.
Yes, I totally agree. And thank you, Ameya, for this insightful conversation.
Thank you too.
Dear friends, viewers, please go and vote on the 22nd of November. It is our duty to make this planet a better place. And let's start by taking a step-by-step approach towards this election booth at either the nearest Gemeente or wherever you are at that moment. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will be putting up all the links below for your reference. Please share this video, like, subscribe, and help spread this message. Let's be a part of global change. Thank you so much.
Thank you.